Pick up a can of Febreze or one of those wall plugins and look at what's inside. You will find petroleum-derived fragrance compounds, propellant gases, preservatives, and synthetic chemicals designed to make your home smell clean. But here's the problem. Not only are they expensive, but most air fresheners don't actually remove the source of the odor. They just cover it up with a stronger scent. So that smell in your couch, curtains, carpet, or pet bed, it may still be there. You've just buried it under a cloud of artificial fragrance, and every time you spray it, your family, your pets, and everyone in that room is breathing some of those compounds in. That's not really fresh air. That's chemically scented air. Now look at this. This $12 rock does something completely different. It physically pulls the odor molecule out of the air, traps it inside its own structure at the molecular level, and when it is full, you put it in direct sunlight for 20 minutes. It resets. You can do that indefinitely. The same rock over and over for years. And here is where it gets genuinely strange, because the reason this works is something I had to read 3 times before I believed it. This is zeolite. It is a volcanic mineral. It forms when lava flows into seawater or an alkaline lake. The minerals crystallize over thousands of years into something that looks, at the macro level, like gray or white gravel. You would walk right past it, but at the molecular level, it has a cage structure, literally. Millions of microscopic pores running through every single gram, arranged in a precise geometric lattice. Like a honeycomb, but at a scale so small that individual gas molecules have to squeeze to enter. Here is the number that stopped me cold. 1 G of zeolite, 1 G has an internal surface area of approximately 900 sqm. That is almost a full tennis court inside 1 G of gray rock. That surface area is what does the work. When an odor molecule, a formaldehyde molecule, an ammonia molecule, or a humidity particle drifts past, the pore captures it through a combination of electrostatic attraction and physical fit. The molecule enters the cage. It gets held there. It stays there until something breaks the molecular bond. That something is heat, specifically UV radiation from direct sunlight. And I will get to exactly how that works in a minute, because the mechanism is stranger than you expect. First, let me tell you where zeolite is actually deployed, because this list is something. In kidney dialysis machines, zeolite pulls urea from blood filtration circuits. Urea is the nitrogen-based waste compound your kidneys normally remove from your bloodstream. Dialysis replicates that function outside the body, and zeolite is embedded in that system because of precisely what it does to nitrogen-based molecules. After the Fukushima nuclear disaster in 2011, more than 5,000 tons of zeolite were deployed to capture radioactive cesium from contaminated water. Cesium ions fit almost perfectly inside the zeolite cage structure. The rock pulled radioactive contamination out of water at industrial scale. The U.S. military uses zeolite in gas mask filters. Hospital HVAC systems use it in air handling units. NASA uses it in oxygen generation systems on the International Space Station. And you can buy a bag of it online or at a garden center for $12. Let me say that again because I want this to land properly. The same mineral that pulls radioactive cesium out of contaminated nuclear water, you can place it in your living room right now for $12, and it will quietly clean your air until you tell it to stop. So what does it actually target inside a residential home? Here's the full list. Formaldehyde, which is off-gassing constantly from your furniture, your flooring, your laminate cabinets. New furniture is essentially a slow-release formaldehyde dispenser, and most people have no idea that is happening. Ammonia from cat litter, from cleaning products, from cooking. VOCs, volatile organic compounds, from paint, synthetic carpeting, and practically any plastic object in your house. It captures moisture and odor molecules themselves. The compounds responsible for pet smell, food smell, musty smell. Not masked, removed at the molecular level. Here's something I want you to sit with for a second. You have been paying roughly $15 a month, every single month, to temporarily suppress the symptoms of air contamination. The source is still there. You are buying chemical cover. One bag of zeolite costs $12. It addresses the source, not the symptom. And here is the part that actually breaks the economics. It never runs out, except it does fill up. So here is exactly how the reset works. When the pores in zeolite are saturated, when they have captured all they can hold, the rock stops working as effectively. You might notice odors returning or the air feeling heavier or more humid than usual. That is your signal. Take the bag or the loose rock and put it outside in direct sunlight or set it on a sunny windowsill. About 20 minutes is all it takes. Here is what happens at the molecular level. UV radiation from sunlight carries enough energy to break the electrostatic bonds holding the captured molecules inside the pores. The molecules heat up, vibrate free, and release back into the open air. What remains is an empty cage structure, fully functional, completely ready to capture again. No chemicals, no replacement bags, no filter cartridges, no ongoing cost of any kind. You're charging a rock with sunlight and it is resetting itself at the molecular level. That is the actual mechanism. For a 200 West or SQFT room, a standard bedroom or small living area, you need about 200 G of zeolite. That is roughly one standard bag, which runs between $10 and $15 depending on where you source it. I will put the exact type to look for in the description because not all zeolites perform the same way in air applications. You place it anywhere air circulates freely, on a shelf near a vent, on a windowsill, beside a litter box. No special pouch, no diffuser, no housing required. The raw mineral performs identically to the branded package versions that charge 3 or 4 times as much for the same material. Reset it in sunlight every 30 days as a baseline. In summer, some people go 60 days between resets because UV light coming through windows provides partial ongoing regeneration throughout the day. In winter or in lower light environments, take it outside deliberately. 20 minutes of direct sun is the target. The 200 G bag lasts indefinitely with normal maintenance. 5 years is a conservative working estimate. Compare that against a $300 air purifier requiring $50 filter replacements every 3 to 6 months or $15 a month in air fresheners that are doing nothing but covering the problem. Over 2 years, the air freshener habit costs roughly $360. The zeolite bag costs $12 once. The math on this is genuinely stupid, and that is not a compliment to anyone selling you a plug-in. Here's the part I almost cut from this video but could not. Zeolite is not only an air treatment, the same pore chemistry works in water. A layer of zeolite inside a DIY gravity filter will pull ammonia, heavy metals, and certain chemical compounds from drinking water before it reaches you. In a fish tank, it controls ammonia spikes almost instantly. A 200-degree bag can stabilize a 40-gallon tank that would otherwise require a full water change. In garden soil, zeolite acts as a nutrient retention matrix holding fertilizer ions in the root zone instead of letting rain flush them away. It dramatically improves water retention in sandy or fast-draining soil. One mineral, air, water, soil. The same cage mechanism doing 3 entirely different jobs. There are 40 naturally occurring zeolite types and over 200 synthetic varieties engineered for specific molecular targets. The variety used in Fukushima was clinoptilolite, and that is also the type most commonly sold for residential use. That is the one you want. Exact sourcing is in the description. You are buying the same class of mineral that remediated a nuclear disaster site for $12, and sunlight resets it. If you have got air fresheners, plug-ins, or a candle routine you're maintaining just to keep your home smelling acceptable, replace one of them with a bag of zeolite for 30 days first. $12, just in 1 month. See what changes. Drop a comment if you have already been using this. I want to know which application you tried it on first. If this story changed the way you look at the hidden science in your home, please subscribe and like the channel. We are uncovering the history and the solutions they have tried to bury. Let's cultivate a better future together. The next treasure of knowledge will be open soon.